Hey everybody, Brad here at BTPA. Today we're going to cover the fly rigs that we've been building, more specifically these Midas M32C mixer racks and these IEM fly racks. This is one of the most common form factors that we've been doing, so let's hit it. Let's cover basically what these are. This is the mixer rack, which allows for mixing your own in-ear monitors, and obviously this is the in-ear monitor rack. They're both in fly racks. Each of these racks drops into their own custom foamed Pelican air case for transit. It's got handle wheels, really nice, lightweight, flyable dimensions, you name it. Both cases and the foaming in the Pelican air cases in this particular build are made from the good folks over at Circle 3 Designs. We have a link to these products in the description below. Okay, so to start, we're going to look at the mixer rack. And on the front, you'll see that this has the Midas M32C for the mixer, a blank panel with two glands here for the XLRs, and straight leaf, and then the Midas DL32 stage box, which has all 32 inputs that are fed from the split in the back. We will show you all 16 outputs here, which go to multipin and XLRs in the back again, which we will show you. And in this 1U open space here, right here mounted, you can see the USB port right there, is a Linksys router, and that allows for the wireless control of this M32C mixer. And this, of course, is for mixing the inner rack that this goes to. Obviously, the IEM rack here, pretty straightforward. It is 6 IEMs that are all stereo with 2 antenna combiners to power all of these and run 1 antenna. Well, each one of these has an antenna, so 2 antennas instead of 6. So flipping over to the back here, we'll show you kind of the internals and all that good stuff. So this right here is the back of the mixer rack. The panel that you're seeing right here is the input split. So there are 32 stage inputs. All 32 of these XLRs feed the DL32 that you saw on the front for all the inputs. And then they also go to this multi-pin connector right here. And this allows you to run the signal from the inputs to front of house, where your mix for your ears doesn't affect the signal that's going to the front of house. So this is nice because all 32 channels are within a single connection point. So the cable that would go to it is just a simple multi-pin connector, big old one with a locking ring. And you just patch it in and you're done. And then obviously the other end of it can be however you want it to be configured. Right here it is 32 XLRs, just so you can hand the your front of house guy, or patch into the stage box, go in your front of house, and you're golden. So the next part of this rack is this 1U panel here, and this is where you'll see the most variance of these type of racks that we're building. Almost always they have a multi-pin right here. This is a little 39 pin. That's for sending channels 1 through 12 up to the IEM rig. So you can do this with just one cable, one connection point on each side, and you're done. Channels 13 through 16 out, because obviously there's only 6 IEMs, so you need 12 channels in the IEM rack. So we make these more accessible here. We put the talkback input on there, typically. And then everything else on this panel kind of varies per setup. They're using the Ultranet, so they've got that. We always put the DL32 USB port on there, just because you can't get to it in case you ever need to update something. And then the power con in, which powers this entire rack. The nice thing about doing it this way is that it also features the 110 to 240 voltage range, or 100 to 240 voltage range. So you really don't need any step down or step up converters while you're touring, for the most part. Okay, so now we've got the back of the IEM rack to cover. This is the 4-space fly rack. This is the 39 pin connector, the female, that is linked from the 39 pin of the mixer rack. So again, it's just one connector that brings all 12 channels to this rack for inputting, all your audio inputs to feed the ears, all your mixes. You've got 2 BNCs, and I will disclaim this, that these are not Neutrik BNCs. We understand that Neutrik at this point only makes a 75 ohm panel mount BNC. What's required here is 50 ohm. We always get people saying that on our pictures. These are 50 ohm BNCs that we make, or we assemble here. They are our connectors. Pretty straightforward. And the rest. So you got the power in, which powers both combiners, which eventually powers all the IEMs. And then you have a power con out. And this is nice because it allows you to patch the power con out to the mixer rack if you wanted to. Maybe so that way you only run one power cable from your source to wherever this is living on the stage. Or you can use this for an auxiliary, maybe to power a laptop, do whatever, but there's a power con out for your needs. So the last thing we're covering here on the IEM rig are the power supply mounts. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you will know about our Where You Going series, Where You Going Nowhere series. It's Tony Award winning, critically acclaimed, you name it. We've won all the awards for it. Huge hit. But anyway, so we build brackets here that house these in here, so they're not going to break loose during transit. These fly rigs do take a beating, so this really helps prevent the wear and tear. These things coming undone during transit and just turning into wrecking balls for all of the gear in your rig. If you'll see on the top here that there are screws which hold these brackets. They're bolted. The screws come down, they're bolted. And then obviously on the mixer rack, pretty much the same treatment on the shelf that mounts the power supply for the router and the router itself. They're all bolted down so they don't become wrecking balls in transit. So we really hope this covers the fly rig, the mixer and IEM rigs that we've been doing a lot of. And again, it's important to note that we will build these and tailor these to whatever you need. And it doesn't have to be IEM or mixer. We do a ton of guitar fly racks, playback fly racks, bass, you name it. I mean, we do pretty much anything in the spectrum as far as that goes. And with these, it's also important to note that we'll configure the input, output, the panels, however you need them. We've done splits with multi-pin inputs that use a trunk multi-pin to multi-pin cable that go to a custom drop box on the stage for inputs that we build as well. It's really, the world is your oyster in terms of how you want these configured, and everything's fully custom, so we can do it however you'd like. It's also important to note that these were both built as turnkey rigs, whereas we are dealers of a ton of different manufacturers out there, so we can provide the gear for you and build it all on a system. It's basically everything sourced, built into a system, and just delivered as a full unit into your hands. If you're concerned about how to program the M32C to link with your router, or how to even update the firmware on it, we have a couple videos showing that on our YouTube channel as well. The importance of these fly racks has really been, and popularity has been really increasing, because it does save a lot of money in terms of international touring or doing fly dates for radio gigs or you name it. They've really been increasing in popularity, and it's kind of not a surprise why. They're modular, they're easy to set up and tear down, they're flyable, obviously. And a lot of times what artists will do is they'll take these type of rigs and build a full case on wheels for stateside tours, where these aluminum shell rack shells or wood rack shells, whatever type you're using, the fly racks can just pop into them. The doors are actually a little bit deep on them so that you can leave everything patched in transit. So it essentially makes it one big rig. And then, you know, when you need to travel internationally, you just unplug everything, pop the racks out, put them in their Pelicans, and you're good to fly. So that's another huge plus using these type of fly rigs. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to, you know, maybe get a quote on building your own fly rig like this, we have some links below with more information, some of the bulk products we use if you're a DIY type of person, or just, you know, drop us a comment, shoot us an email, give us a call. It'd be great if you can hit us with that subscribe button. And until next time, everybody.